Only 2 days left of Patriots training camp here in Foxborough, so we are here to give you our observations. I'm Sierra Goodwill, joined by Evan Lazar and Alex Barth. Guys, we have to mention that N'Keal Harry and Matt LaCosse were not at Patriots practice today. They both got roughed up in the first preseason game. N'Keal Harry early on, LaCosse not too shortly after that. How concerned are you with their absences?
Well, the team right now is kind of putting out a company line of this is nothing serious with N'Keal Harry. I think they don't want any type of hysteria about the first-round pick. It sounds like it was the hamstring that bummed him in Detroit. He left Tuesday's joint practice in Detroit a little bit early with that hamstring, came back, then sat out the rest of 11 on 11s. They played him in the game, which I thought was a little bit surprising. I think that what they're realizing now is that they need to put N'Keal Harry in a little bit of bubble wrap and be a little bit more careful with this. The LaCosse injury is a lot more of a mystery. We'll see what happens as we go forward. But right now, it doesn't sound like it's anything serious for N'Keal Harry, but it's serious enough that they don't want to push it this time of year.
Right.
And just on Matt LaCosse on the tight ends, I think it is encouraging they got Lance Kendricks back out there, and he said he plans on traveling with the team to Tennessee and hopefully playing in that game. They make the trade for a tight end today. I think that's official now.
Yep.
They make the trade for the tight end today.
Yeah.
So they're clearly still trying to figure that out. And with how close that group has been, am I concerned about losing LaCosse? Not in a major way. I think he'll be back. But as they try to figure out what that depth chart's going to look like, especially in those first 4 weeks before Ben Watson comes back, that group has been so close. And every snap has been so crucial. Now you kind of go back to square one with LaCosse out. Is Kendricks going to come in and make up some ground? Steven Anderson, he might be dealing with something.
We're talking about a lot of fringe NFL players right now. I think this team, honestly, a lot of people are looking to like left tackle, like a Trent Williams, because that name is out there. Look on the perimeter. Like look at wide receiver and tight end. Those two positions, I could definitely see them being in the mix for an even better tight end. Right. Not a conditional 7th-round pick type trade, but actually going out and getting a guy that maybe is somebody like in Cameron Brate in Tampa is a name that I keep on throwing out there because they have two really good tight ends down there and they don't need both of them. So maybe a guy like that, somebody that can actually come in here and make an impact.
Right. And now we'll go through and kind of talk about players that stood out from Monday's practice. I got to start and continue the conversation about Jakobi Meyers. I mean, he had an outstanding first 2 weeks of training camp. People were like, who is this guy? Because clearly Tom Brady likes him. Clearly he's showing out every time he gets the chance at a rep. And then he proved that he could do it against other NFL opponents in Thursday's preseason game against the Detroit Lions. So Jakobi Meyers, and then again today, just any ball thrown his way, he's making a play. He would have to do a whole heck of a lot wrong to not make the team at this point, in my opinion.
It's like he'd have to do something off the field to not make the team. Like, he's making the team in terms of what he does on the field. I want to talk about another rookie in Juwan Williams, who started training camp, I'd say, a little bit rough. You know, he really struggled a little bit. He's come on a little bit here in the last couple of days. He had 2 interceptions out here today. He's gotten his hands on a bunch of different balls. That size and the length, the ability to get into the passing lane and stuff like that is starting to show out a little bit. You know, I think that we've talked to Alex a lot about, is Juwan Williams going to be kind of that red shirt player? Is he going to be an IR guy? I don't know. Maybe, you know, he's starting to come along a little bit. He played decently well in the preseason game. That DPI challenge that he had against him, I thought was a fair call that it wasn't DPI. He had pretty good technique in that play. So maybe Juwan Williams is starting to, you know, feel more comfortable and get a little bit of head steam here.
So I'm going to go with the player who actually stood out to me for the opposite. I'm going to go with the player who stood out to me for a negative reason, and that's Maurice Harris. Yeah. He had those 2 drops against Detroit, and I know maybe there was PI on one of them, but it's not being called. You got to catch the ball.
Yeah.
He had another bad drop today on a flea flicker, on a comeback, wide open on the sideline. It's right off his hands. He came back, made a nice diving catch later, but it's still the inconsistency, and there's nothing the Patriots, and specifically Tom Brady, can't stand more than inconsistency. So, Sierra, like you said, and like Evan, you said too, with Jakobi Meyers coming on and proving that he's going to fill a role, and it's a role similar to, I think, what we expected from Maurice Harris. All of a sudden, the darling of minicamp, the darling of OTAs.
We've all veered, right? It's like
he's got some work to do.
First couple of days was Maurice Harris, and then Jakobi Meyers. It was a quick turn.
I'm not saying that he's off the roster just yet, but he has a couple more drops against Tennessee, and he's probably going to be moving come September 1st.
This Patriots training camp report is brought to you by betonline.ag. Head to their website, enter promo code CLNS50 to receive your bonus. We'll continue to tell you about Jakobi Meyers, about Maurice Harris, as we lead up to Saturday's game against the Tennessee Titans. Head to our website at clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at CLNS Media for all of your Patriots coverage.